Alright, here we are. Here we are again. Welcome, friends, to another ASMR with Let's Read. Your good buddy, Let's Read. Guys, it's me. What's up? What's going on? Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, what's going on? What's the deal with Let's Read reading this, or not necessarily reading, but doing this ASMR thing? Let's Read's got it under good authority that people feel good when they do things that involve, like, listening to ASMR. So, I figured what better route I go down. Thank you so much for the support on the last video. And honestly, we might get pretty experimental on this particular channel. As you could see in the title, that I haven't actually written yet, but am referencing as if though I already have, we're going to be eating almonds. We are going to be drinking a massive bottle of kombucha. My goodness. I've also turned up the reception on the mic this time because I really wanted you guys to experience every little nook and cranny that is present in the sounds that surround me, the sounds that I create with my body. Okay. I've also got lined up here for you inspiring and uplifting news. Not necessarily for myself, but other people around the world. The nation, the world, your nation maybe, depending on where you're from, but that's kind of exciting, I think. Maybe, I know people want me to read the spooky ghost things on this channel in the ASMR whispering format. But I think I might just turn this channel into just something super duper positive and save those for the other channel for a special occasion, I suppose. I hope none of the sounds are too loud here for you today, as sometimes grabbing something out of a bag or unraveling a bottle of kombucha can be a little loud at times. So we're gonna figure this out together. We're gonna move forward as a team, as friends. So stick right there with me and we'll get started. That noise right there is the sound of me scraping my fingers on an almond. Going in. That was the sound of me cracking my teeth. Just kidding. Now I'm chewing on an almond. It's in there getting all sorts of chewed up, turn into a kind of a mush. And They're great for your digestion, from what I've come to find. But you're struggling with, and this may be TMI for some folks, but so you're struggling with constipation. A handful of almonds, once or twice a day. That's going to be the fiber you need to get going every morning. Down that with a nice batch of water, or as I'm about to introduce, some kombucha, and you are in for quite a digestive treat. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mix the kombucha. At the bottom of the bottle is a bunch of goo, a bunch of like yeast or something. Sounds gross, doesn't it? It might not necessarily be yeast entirely, but it's probiotic in form. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm always more than happy to learn. But you kind of mix it up throughout the mildly fermented drink. And in a similar fashion, from what I hear, to yogurt, you get all the probiotic and good bacteria in your gutty works. And that bacteria is apparently what's in charge of digesting your food in your system. Helps to break it down, make it more easily absorbed into your body. So, we mix that kombucha up a little bit here. I'd say it's about time we open it. Oh, that's a loud noise, sorry. Okay. I had to use my teeth. My teeth to take off the plastic wrap on the top. There it goes. Taking that off. Free. Now if you were to see one of those bottles without one of those plastic wraps on the top of your kombucha, you would say to yourself, I'm not drinking that. Personally, I might still do it because I've got a death wish. Just kidding. A little information on this kombucha. It's by our friends at GTS. It's kind of a widespread, larger kombucha company. You might find local kombucha producers around the area, and personally I would suggest that you support them in that endeavor. These guys I'm going to read the back of the bottle a little bit. Mission in a bottle. In 1995, I started making organic raw kombucha based on the belief that it could touch people's lives. For me, kombucha represented everything that food should be: raw, unadulterated, and crafted by nature. So far, I'm on board with this. I agree with everything that is written on the back of this bottle. and I don't feel led astray. Today, that belief is stronger than ever. That's why I am honored and humbled to be able to share this gift with you. From GT Dave, the founder, he invented kombucha. That might not be true, but he invented this specific one that I spent probably way too much to get. And now I'm drinking. I imagine there might be a slight possibility that 50 years from now, people might look back and say, oh my gosh, those idiots paid how much to drink yeast? Goofballs. Rebalance. Reawaken. Rethink. Rekindle. Redefine. Rediscover. It comes with electrolytes, polyphenols, and enzymes. You're not going to get that in a can of Coke. You're not going to get that in Pepsi. And to be honest, if I was a little kid and my mom handed me a big bottle of kombucha, it's carbonated, it doesn't taste too bad, there's different flavors. The sugar content, I'm going to read this to you. First I'll tell you how big this massive bottle is, and I'm going to drink all of it. It's 8 fluid ounces. There's 6 servings in this container. Doing some quick maths, 3 plus 1 minus 2, I can't do that. 8 times 6, 48. 48 fluid ounces. I'm going to drink all of it. Now, how much sugar is in this beast? Per serving, there's 25 calories. Per serving, there's 6 grams of sugar. That's 36 grams of sugar in one bottle, 48 ounces, 1.4 liters. That's nuts. It's certainly not zero. It's certainly not as little of sugar as is found in most waters. But think about per 16 ounce probiotics, bacillus, coagulans GBI 30, 6086, 1 billion organisms are in this drink I'm about to drink. I'm about to infect myself with health. Join me. Here we go. Now you have to be careful when opening these because you could explode and spill everywhere. Do you guys hear that? That's not a mouse. That's carbonation. burping is one of your triggers, then stick right around because I won't do it very loud. Just weird little dinosaur noises. If you want to feel like you're going back to the Triassic period, stick with me, because that's where we're going when you drink kombucha. Now people are saying right now, I can hear them, where are the inspiring stories? Where are they? They're coming. Story number 1. Ranking in August 18th, 2018. Can you believe it's 2018 already? I used to joke about 2020 and the context that it was the future. And now we are less than a year and a half away from that future. But in all reality, there is but one moment. Time is merely a means of measurement, a manner in which we are able to understand the world around us, a point of reference, if you may. You and I are still we're still that little kid we were, staring in the candy shop. Maybe our interests have changed, maybe we've grown quite a bit, but that mind, that point of perspective still exists in all of us. We are the same consciousness now as we were back then. Story number 1. Woman pays for stranger's coffee, only to receive a heartfelt letter in the mail the very same day. A young woman's simple act of kindness has turned into a blossoming friendship between her and a depressed stranger who needed a pick-me-up. Mackenzie was at Starbucks in Ohio earlier this week when she spontaneously decided to pay for the order of a woman behind her. When she left the store, she didn't think much of her good deed. Later that day, however, she found a heartfelt letter in their mailbox. The letter was from Nicole, a woman who had fallen on hard times and incidentally lived right next to Mahler. "Thank you for the coffee," Clausen wrote in the letter. "I rarely go to Starbucks and treat myself, but the last couple of months have been a bit of a struggle. My father just passed away, and he was also my babysitter. My family and my children have had a really hard time. This morning, my babysitter called off sick and I had to take the day off of work. I decided to buy my kids breakfast and get myself a coffee with total guilt because I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom for a while. Since I was not planning to go this route in my life, I was not emotionally and financially prepared to quit working. I cried. And when I found out you were so sweet to buy me my coffee, I cried. When I found out you were so sweet to buy me my coffee. Not only that, Clausen said that she was then thrilled to see Mahler pull into a driveway that was a few houses down from her own. So she penned up the sweet note and left it in the mailbox. I felt it necessary for you to know that what you did for me was more than just coffee, she added. It was something that has turned my whole day around, put tears in my eyes and a smile on my face. Mahler posted photos of the note to Twitter, where it has garnered thousands of likes and retweets. She then penned a heartfelt card of her own and brought it to Clausen's house along with an offer to babysit. Clausen was so overwhelmed and delighted by the young woman's kindness, she created a Twitter account so she could praise Mahler for her generosity. This has been such a great learning opportunity for my children on how to treat others, no matter what, wrote Clausen. They are excited to pay it forward and treat others with kindness and selflessness. Be sure to pass this positive story on to your friends. That was kind of her to do, paying for someone else. Have you guys ever had someone do a random act of kindness for you or pay for your stuff in line? It's hard to come by. I'm sure many of us would probably do it, if given the opportunity. But sometimes kindness isn't always asked of us. It's something that I suppose we can manifest within ourselves. Next story. 98-year-old walking 6 miles to his wife's bedside every day inspires strangers to donate thousands. This 98-year-old man is not about to let age or exhaustion keep him from being with his wife. Luther Younger has been married to Waverly for over 50 years and has always been there for her through her host of health problems. Waverly, who is paralyzed, has been struggling with brain cancer since she was diagnosed in 2009. Also, you can see these good news stories at goodnewsnetwork.org. Be sure to check them out. They help me, and I hope they're helping you right now. She has now been hospitalized for 2 weeks, and as a means of being with his wife, Luther has insisted on walking 6 miles to Strong Memorial Hospital in Rochester, New York, every day, rain or shine. According to local news networks, Luther has always been an avid walker, but he is now all the more eager to hit the road if it means he gets to be with his beloved Waverly. She's the best cup of tea I've ever had, Luther told Spectrum News Rochester. I ain't nothing without Waverly. His daughter, Luthetta, always offers to give him rides to the hospital, but he often gets too angsty to wait around. She has since started a GoFundMe page to help raise money for rides and medical expenses, and after just 1 day, it has already garnered over $20,000 in donations. That's inspiring. It'd be amazing what love can do for people. to love someone so much that you give everything you have to them, even in their lowest points. But that's the commitment that's found in marriage. Have you guys ever been in a situation like that before? Where your loved one has been in a low spot and you've just given everything you've had for them? Maybe that story will inspire you to try it today. Anonymous woman who just gave $100 to every teacher in her district so they can buy school supplies. An anonymous donor has just gifted a $100 bill to every teacher in a Kentucky school district. When the teacher of Pendleton County schools showed up for the opening day of the school year earlier this week, they were surprised to learn that a woman had given them all cash donations to buy school supplies. With 143 teachers in the school district, and donations totaled up to $14,300, and the educators were understandably blown away by the compassionate gesture. Karen Delaney of the Pendleton County Education Foundation says that the woman had phoned in the donation and expressed her desire to thank the teachers for all they do. She said, "I just want to do something to show teachers that there are people out there that," and this is a quote, "that have their back and support them in what they do every day for students, and then recognize that they give so much more than they are compensated," said Delaney, according to WLWT. That is amazing. Teachers are so underappreciated. You know, a lot of people say, me working in healthcare, that nurses are underappreciated, and I would agree to a certain extent, but they are paid pretty well in some locations. And I've met many a nurse who has left their passion of education, raising our youth, to pursue that of nursing. Both noble avenues of occupation. The unfortunate part is that in education, it's not necessarily a market. You can create a free market related to education where people go to a private school, but when it comes to public schools where students go to day in and day out, and defunding of education, there's a certain aspect within healthcare where the goods that are provided to the individuals all hold a certain amount of value, whereas with students it stays so consistent that it's sometimes hard to continue to generate revenue, whereas a hospital can sometimes generate quite a bit of revenue and be redistributed to their employees appropriately. So it's always a really unfortunate part, seeing how important teachers are to a community, yet how underpaid they are. Even $100. that's fantastic. School supplies, but that blows by like a leaf in the wind sometimes, and most definitely this action that this woman took was amazing, and if anything, I hope that it inspires others to give and maybe even help individually if their kid is being taught by a certain teacher, perhaps a family could give to that specific teacher. And if you had a bunch of families inspired to do something like that, if it almost became a common courtesy, a tip, you could say. Who knows, maybe teachers could find a new sense of self-sufficiency that's, brought together through funding from the community. But it was a great story. Watch the heartwarming moment. A man on the subway offers to play cell phone game with curious boy. Now this includes a video which I most likely won't show, but we can talk about it, as it's always nice to hear another good thing somebody does. A simple exchange between a man and a boy on the New York City subway is melting hearts across the internet. In a series of videos that were uploaded to Facebook by Kia Tatiana Davis, a man can be seen playing some kind of game on his phone. As he plays, a curious little boy starts to peer over his shoulder. When the man takes notice of his young neighbor's interest in the game, he smiles and hands the phone to the boy so that they could play the game together. What I witnessed today on the train, I almost cried, wrote Davis. The small act of kindness and friendship has been viewed by over 1 million people. Now, though we might not show the video here today on the channel, I love children. I really do. I work with them in different avenues, and they really are the pinnacle of innocence, and we all have been children at one point in our life, and to receive kindness from a stranger, even as simplistic as a smile, all the way up to letting them utilize your own personal property, that is something that sticks with a child. Children grow up to mock what they saw in the world. And when you show them kindness, they're like a sponge. They will become that which you have given to them. That's a good almond. Food for thought. I do really enjoy the ASMR community because it's all about positivity. There's no time for negativity, and they're an incredibly forgiving crowd from what I've seen in comment sections and the like. So I appreciate everyone who ends up on this video at some point. For staying so positive. we have time for one or two more stories? When teacher posts plea for more sick days, school staffers from across the country donate theirs. Another teacher story, which is great. When a Florida school teacher posted a plea for help on social media, his fellow educators did not hesitate to step forward. Robert Goodman has been undergoing surgery and chemotherapy for stage 3 colon cancer since receiving the diagnosis in April. He has used all 38 of the paid leave days that he has racked up from working at Palm Beach Gardens Community High School for the last 23 years. Anxious for the future, Goodman posted a photo to Facebook saying that he needed at least 20 more paid leave days to finish treatment without being hurt financially. Within 4 days, the 56-year-old educator was flooded with messages from fellow school staffers across the country saying they wanted to donate their paid leave. It wasn't just teachers either. Goodman eventually received 76 sick days from teachers, administrators, college professors, and even cafeteria workers. I wasn't surprised that teachers were giving. Teachers are always giving all the time, he told CNN. When one of their own needs help, they'll always step up. Isn't that the truth? Teachers truly are incredibly giving people. I hope we all had a good teacher growing up, one that just stuck with you. So often still, even to this day with my friends, we reflect upon our days in school and the teachers that we had and all those memories of being young. There's always going to be one teacher that sticks with you that maybe brought you down. But you set that aside when you come across a teacher who truly gave their heart and soul to their occupation. That teacher can change people. Send them down a path of positivity, of love. It can be a magical thing. And if you're a teacher, if there's any teachers watching this right now, thank you, first off. And you got the power. You have the power in your hands to shape the future. All it requires is that gentle heart. Even when a child is incredibly agitated or frustrated, doesn't want to be there, doesn't treat you well, you have the power to show them a sense of selfless love. And when they see that, they're going to see something different. The rest of the world has thrown them in a ditch, cast them away, perpetuated their anger by responding with it. But when you respond in kindness and selflessness, it breaks through that shell. teen wanted to auction his pig to help a teacher, but these 4 bidders had better plans. There's the prehistoric creature that comes out of your throat when you're having a burp. A teen had a 265-pound gift for his teacher if he could overcome his stage fright enough to pull it off. He succeeded, and the gift really brought home the bacon. A shy 15-year-old was heartbroken to hear that his favorite teacher in Evansville, Wisconsin was retiring. He even tried to bribe her, handing over all of his money, $52, because she was leaving on a mission to raise money for cancer. It didn't work, but the donation made Waylon Klitzman realize how good it feels to help. Kim Katzenmeyer, or Mrs. K, as he called her, was stepping down from her position as educator so she could dedicate her time towards Beat and Be, a charity that raises money for neuroblastoma research. Her passion for the charity was kindled after her 4-year-old niece was diagnosed with it, the most common form of childhood cancer. She will have to fight the disease for the rest of her life. To help Miss K, Waylon decided to take the pig he'd raised and auction it off at the county fair and donate all of the money. But after several people heard about his generosity, the auction took a very unexpected turn. The boy had emailed his situation to several companies who would be buying, hoping they would bid higher than the usual price of $3 to $4 per pound. His plan worked. When the bidding kicked off, the price jumped to $11, but then one of the bidders, Dan Drotztowicz, had an idea and struck a deal with his competition. He won the bidding on the pig, then he donated it back to be auctioned again. The second winner bought it for $10 a pound, then he gave it back too. Finally, a third competitor, Dave Mole, was free to buy. Then he, too, unexpectedly donated the pig back for a third time. Mall, who is the co-founder of the construction company that employs Waylon's father, told the Washington Post, "I had no intention of spending that money or giving the pig back, but that's what the people ahead of me did, and I felt like it was the right thing to do, so I did." The pig was finally brought and sold a 4th time for $5.50 per pound, meaning that Waylon managed to raise $10,070 for his teacher's charity. "I did not see that happening," Waylon told the Post. "Usually they just sell it once. My dream got bigger and bigger every time they said, 'Give it back.'" This is not Waylon's final contribution to the charity, however. He is now preparing to auction off his 3 acres worth of pumpkins in the fall, and he plans on donating everything to Beat and Be. "I'm bursting. My heart is bursting with pride for him," Miss K said. "He doesn't know the impact that he is having. Someday, he will." It's amazing how generous people can be under certain circumstances. I've got 2 more almonds here to eat. I hope you enjoy them as much as I have. And I suppose I may not be finishing this kombucha. In time. Well, not necessarily in time, but this time. It might have to be my own personal kombucha batch. Friends, it has been a joy to spend this time with you. I truly do enjoy these ASMR videos in the sense that they're personal, they're fun. I can get creative with them. I hope I gave you triggers and all sorts of different sensations, things and ideas through your mind. To make you feel, to remind you that you are human. We all are. Until I see you next time, Godspeed.